Simon Ekpa has raised concern over the gross human rights violations and abuse in Nigeria and have said this as a very strong point against the Nigerian state, citing that the Nigeria ranks 120 out of 140 countries in the 2024 human rights violations and the rule of law, compliance with the rule of law index, that Nigeria fell below the average and falls behind the war-torn Ukraine, the gang-plagued El Salvador, and the military-ruled Niger Republic. This is a very strong point to present against Nigerian government, as Simon Ekpa is well prepared and well informed with the right information to decimate the Nigerian government and to frustrate even Finland, despite the conspiracy alleged by the Finland ambassador to Nigeria, that this is not going to work according to the European laws, that any violation of fundamental human rights and abuses by any government will not be tolerated. And as such, the European countries has no confidence in the justice system of the Nigeria, as their ranking in the human rights and the rule of law compliance is abysmal. It's quite worrisome, and this has given Simon Ekpa a very good advantage to dislodge and frustrate every effort by the Nigerian government and any other, of course, party who might want to subvert the course of justice. Simon Ekpa will argue his case very clearly as he presents the report, a validated report certified by the World Justice Project, that want to constrain certain governments or regions on the abuses and excesses, abuse of power. This is a very strong point, and with this development, there is no one who can consider Nigerian government to win this case against Simon Ekpa, because he's going to present and publish the report certified and made known or public before the court of law. And with this, his safety, of course, in Nigeria cannot be guaranteed with this level of violations to the human rights and the rule of law. Nigeria is behind the military-ruled Niger Republic than Nigeria, who claims to be a democratic client or a democratic system. It is quite unfortunate, and this indication is something that will be used against the Nigerian government, despite the call by Tinubu and the Chief of Defense Staff. They knew that, of course, the ICC, International Criminal Court, are conducting a prolonged investigations over the alleged massacre of Igbos under Buhari's regime and the continued abuse of fundamental human rights, and against the continued detention of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra. So there is no way the Nigerian government can convince the EU court to repatriate or in any way send back Simon Ekpa, who happens to be the citizen of the European nation, where, of course, Finland is part of this. He's a Finnish citizen, and there is no way the Finnish government can jeopardize the life and the interests of their citizens, especially when it borders on issues of rule of law and compliance to the fundamental rights of the people, of humans. Having seen Nigeria in the light of these current statistics or certified statistics published, it is very difficult for Nigerian government and the military to argue their case. There have been alleged violations against the military, of which the Chief of Defense Staff and the Attorney General of the Federation was worried over the prolonged investigations against the military over the purported violations to fundamental human rights and forceful disappearances. So there are many people whose case has not been well defined, and that discredits the Nigerian chances of winning the war against Mazi Simon Ekpa. Mazi Simon Ekpa has defeated Nigeria as far as this case is concerned, because it's a lost battle. Why? Because the European law or European court must ascertain the rates or the state of human rights compliance and the rule of law. You see, can you ascertain or confidently convince the European countries or European court that Nigeria adheres and complies to the rule of law? Well, they are there to argue their case, but the information or whatever they needed to know is before the public domain. So Simon Ekpa and his legal team will cash on this, and of course we frustrate and strangulate any move, attempt or argument in that regard, that he cannot be pre-exposed to a country or a society where there is gross violation of fundamental human rights and non-compliance to the rule of law. Just as Mazi Nnamdi Kanu case, there have been court ruling and injunction, a consistent injunction by the appellate court of law that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu should be released, having been acquitted and discharged, and yet he's been held based on whatever they claim to be political reasons. Well, the truth is that the European courts and the European nations understand the place and position of Nigeria when it has to do with the rule of law and the compliance to the fundamental right of the people. How can that be protected? Of course, it's quite unfortunate, as we are seeing gross abuse of the fundamental right of the citizens. It's very disturbing, and this is a sense of worry for anyone concerned. So with this development, you understand that it's a lost battle for Nigeria, the rendition or the extradition of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, despite whatever position Finland might hold, trying to bargain with the Nigerian government. Of course, that is a dead end, because it cannot work. It cannot work because the Finnish authorities and the Finnish law cannot be compromised just for political gains, and the rule of law must be strictly adhered when they finally gets to court. And Simon Ekpa is warming, very much ready, of course, to give the deadliest blow, litigations that will dismantle the Nigerian argument against him, and eventually he will walk out free, as been speculated in no distant time.